Welcome to my channel. Today's serial killer is one of the most infamous in history. He was known as the Killer Clown. This is John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy was born on March 17th, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. His father was a hard-working man who struggled with alcoholism. Because of his father's behavior, John developed a hatred for him. When he was just 8 years old, he got into an altercation with his father and told him that he was going to kill him one day. His father responded by beating him. As punishment, young John had to stand in the corner all night while wearing a clown suit. Ever since that night, John hated clowns. But that didn't stop him from becoming one himself. John had an older sister named Karen. From a very young age, John wanted to be just like his sister. If she wore a dress, he would wear a dress too. And if she wore makeup, he would put makeup on as well. When John was 11, his family moved to a new house, and soon after, his parents got a divorce. John went to live with his father, but he quickly ran away from home and made his way back to his mother's. She let him stay with her, but not without making it clear that he wasn't welcome there. John was forced to sleep in the basement. That's when he discovered something that would change his life forever. John found a pair of old clown shoes in the basement. From then on, he started wearing them around the house. One day, John took his clown shoes to school. His classmates laughed at him and called him a freak. But John didn't care. He had always felt different from everyone else, and he felt like the clown shoes completed his look. John started dressing up as a clown and doing shows in retirement homes and hospitals. People loved him, and he started getting paid. At the same time, his relationship with his mother was improving. But that wouldn't last long. When John was 16, he joined the United States Marine Reserves. But before he could start training, he got into trouble with the law. John went out with some friends one night and they decided to have some fun. They pulled off several pranks like putting itching powder on people and throwing eggs at cars. But their night ended badly when they were caught and charged with disorderly conduct. John pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 6 months in jail. After serving his time, he returned home. He started working construction jobs and spent the money he earned on clothes and makeup. Soon, he became one of the most popular clowns in the country. He even had his own TV show. But behind the scenes, John was struggling. He was still angry at his father for what he did to him when he was just a kid. One day in 1960, John met his father in a bar and invited him to watch his TV show. His father accepted. When John came on stage dressed as a clown, the audience applauded. But John's father was unimpressed. After the show, John told his dad that he wanted to make amends, but his father wasn't interested. The next day, John went to see his father again, but he was too drunk to talk to him. So John left without saying anything. Later that night, John went out and bought a gun. He drove to his father's house and shot him in the back. His father was taken to the hospital where he died. John was arrested and charged with murder. But he was able to get away with a lighter sentence because he was able to convince the jury that he acted in self-defense. John was sentenced to probation. He was released and went back to his life as a clown. But his troubles would start again in the early 1970s. In 1971, a girl came forward and accused John of raping her. An investigation was launched, but nothing came of it. A year later, another woman came forward with similar accusations. This time, John was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years in prison. While in prison, he befriended a fellow inmate who shared a cell with him. His name was Paul. Paul was also a convicted sex offender. In prison, John confided in Paul and told him about all the girls he had assaulted. Paul listened patiently, and when John was done, he said, "You know, you should kill them, John." John was shocked. He didn't think that anyone would understand him, but Paul seemed to. After hearing what John had done to all those girls, Paul gave him some advice. He said that instead of assaulting women, John should just kill them. Paul said that if he killed the girls, he would finally feel free. John thought about this and realized that Paul was right. In 1974, John was paroled from prison, and he went right to work. He started killing girls. The first victim was a 16-year-old high school girl named Mary. She was reported missing, and her body was found in a marsh the next day. But because there was no evidence linking John to the crime, he was never arrested. Over the next few years, John continued killing girls. He would go to parties or events dressed as a clown and bring his victims back to his house. There, he would drug them and then strangle them. He kept their bodies in his house until he was ready to get rid of them. He buried most of his victims in the crawl space under his house, but some he dumped in the Des Plaines River. At least 33 girls were killed by John. In 1978, a task force was set up to find the person responsible for all these murders. A detective named J. Robert Finlay worked on the case, and he was determined to find the killer. The task force was able to get a DNA sample from the killer, but they didn't know what to do with it since DNA technology wasn't advanced yet. The case went cold, and John continued killing girls. He also started targeting young men. He would pick them up at gay bars and take them back to his house where he would torture and kill them. He was especially cruel to gay men. He would beat them with a stick or a bat until they confessed that they were gay. In December of 1978, John's luck finally ran out. A young man named Jim Duff was able to escape from John's house. He told the police what had happened to him, and they were able to arrest John. When they searched his house, they found a lot of evidence, but they didn't know how to connect it to the other murders. However, when they brought John in for questioning, they found his clown shoes in the back of his squad car. It was the same pair that he had shown off at the talent show so many years ago. They took the shoes back to the lab and found some fibers from one of the victims. This was enough evidence to link John to the other murders. He was charged with 21 counts of murder and taken to court. At the trial, John's defense attorney tried to convince the jury that John was innocent. He claimed that John couldn't have committed all those murders because he was a famous clown. How could someone as beloved as John be a serial killer? The jury didn't buy it, and John was found guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to death by lethal injection. John spent 14 years on death row before he was executed. On May 10, 1994, he was given a lethal injection, and then he was dead. What do you think of the killer clown? Let me know in the comments below. I'm the host, and if you want to watch more videos about serial killers, stay tuned. Catch you later.